Okay. So, good morning. I am legitimately just waking up. I've got some coffee. It's early morning. Early morning. I kind of look like shit, but this story is pretty great. I didn't know this. So, let's talk about Princess Edna Makonnen and Jamal Robinson announced the birth of their daughter Eliana Rose, honoring royal Ethiopian lineage and embracing new parenthood. It's three cheers for the newest member of the Robinson family. Princess Edna Makonnens and her husband Jamal Akil Robinson have welcomed their first child, a daughter, into the world. And so you see her picture. Her name is Princess Eliana Rose Robinson. Princess Eliana Rose Robinson was born on July 17th, 2025 at 2:28 p.m. The new mom and dad couldn't be more excited. My hope for Eliana is rooted in love, growth, and authenticity. I want her to grow up knowing she is loved, not just in words, but in the way she's seen, heard, and supported every day, starting with Jamal and I, Princess Edna told Ebony. The great granddaughter of Haile Selassie, Ethiopia's last emperor, Princess Edna's family lineage traces back to the biblical King Solomon, the third son of King David and Queen of Sheba. It's part of their history she and her husband will keep forefront for their daughter to understand the importance of our family history. That she comes from a lineage of kings and queens, she stated. At her baby shower, Princess Edna received a precious gift. My mom surprised me with a collection of my baby clothes. It was a special and emotional moment, she gushed. Knowing she kept them all those years with so much love, now being able to pass them down to my beautiful daughter Eliana makes it more meaningful. It feels like a beautiful connection between generations. After their first 30-minute coffee date in 2015 that lasted an hour, Princess Edna and Robinson, the co-founder of Sev Collection, an eyewear company, and director at Informa Tech Target, married in a beautiful ceremony on April 30th, 2022 in Potomac, Maryland, surrounded by family and royal friends. A pr- um There's like an ad in the way. I can't read more of this. Um, she said, I now understand what my mother always said when she'd smile and say, wait until you start having children. It shifted Jamal and my priorities while giving me a deeper sense of purpose. Princess Edna shared. Suddenly, everything I do carries more meaning because it's for her. In these first few weeks, I've slowed down to be present with Eliana and find every new moment to be amazing. Motherhood has also taught me grace with Eliana and with myself. Princess Edna already has a clear vision of life she wants for her little girl. I hope she always feels safe to be exactly who she is without needing to shrink herself to meet anyone else's or the world's expectations, she shared. Well, this is possible because she's like an Ethiopian princess who's probably going to raise her kid in fucking Ethiopia. I'll go into this, but I want to finish the article. I want her to be confident in her voice and kind-hearted, someone who leads with empathy, curiosity, and courage. I hope she learns to embrace challenges, create her own uniqueness, and stand tall in a world that won't always be easy. I want her to know that success isn't measured by perfection, but staying true to herself and the values she holds. Princess Edna looks forward to experiencing this through her and Eliana's eyes. I know I'm still figuring out so much as a mother and as a person, but my hope is to grow alongside her, to be someone who listens and learns as much as I teach, she stated resolutely. More than raising a daughter who has it all together, I want to raise a daughter who feels free, loved, and enough just as she is. There's so many things I like about this story. This is not a fucking Disney princess bullshit story. There are no white people in the story. There's no people of color. It is simply black people descending from royal blood. I think that it doesn't make sense to me, like why, like there are just certain all the really, 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 really rich people in the world were black. They weren't white. And I don't understand why like it has to feel like when people say they are I don't think people who are slaves, it doesn't make sense for you to say you're descended from royal blood. At the same time, King Halassi was a real king and had a real emperor, and this is his real niece. So that's a very real thing. And I do appreciate, like, that story also needs to be told. It isn't fictional. This ain't Disney. And this is no Instagram Pilates princess bullshit, right? Like, this is actually a real story. And I think that that is very important. And I also think that it just, see, something I feel like I'm starting to understand now, and I'm going to write about this. There's a girl who I would refer to her as a Pilates princess, but she just announced a pregnancy. And so now it seems like she's transitioning from Pilates princess to Whole Foods mom. I think that those are real, like, character tropes in this society. Those are not real royalty. That is nobody's real princess, right? Like Instagram pictures and clothes from Shein don't make you of royal blood. And I think that needs to be said. And then I also think that there's probably some black people in the community who actually do need to understand that like King Solomon or Queen Sheba weren't fictional characters. They were like real people with like real empires. And like Haile Selassie is a really big deal in Ethiopia, in Ethiopian history, and there is a very long lineage of that. And so my hope is for any Black American girls who are here is to find your lineage. Like, you know, I don't, it's really interesting because there's always some man, and it's usually some black guy who will ask me like, "Oh, where are you from?" They just assume I'm like totally Black American, which I don't have a problem with that. My mom definitely is, but my dad is not. And so then they will tell me some story about how they are from, you know, they are whatever African country that they are from, as though I am not able to feel pride where I'm from while respecting where they are from. There are 54 countries in Africa, and you probably, if there are any Black American girls here, what I'm saying is you also have a lineage from somewhere that has a story that's not King Selassie or King Solomon, but it is some story of some real history that you have that is not chattel slavery, right? And that's real too. And I think it's like important to know that story and to be able to like communicate that story, especially because I feel like the Black American story is ending. Like this story of like fresh off the boat immigrants is not one that anyone is aspiring to. It's not one that I aspire to. Let me just say that. And it's not even one that I respect. So like I don't want to hear any more narratives of that story.